by the names of Alex Olengo once again, and I'm sharing this session, Agriculture Innovations. And one of the panelists, Mr. Biso from Inqaba, and of course, Mr. Isaac, who is actually also a biotechnologist. Both are biotechnologists, so I presume they've been the best candidates for this kind of discussion. So I'll dive deep into one of the questions, and this is I send it towards Mr. Biso. The progress as far as agricultural innovations are concerned in Africa.
Progress depends. You see, in Uganda, progress agriculture-wise is still a problem, I should say, especially when it comes to the biotechnology applications. It's still being debated every now and then. But when it comes to other fields, let's assume developing hybrids, doing this normal farming, I should say the progress is good. But embracing the biotechnology, the technology that we need to see, is still a problem, and we hope the government works on that.
Thank you very much. I would like to get it from the guy himself who actually trained with the Department of Biosciences in Namulonge, which I believe is also working on that is crop, right? At NACRI, the National Crops Resources Research Institute. How did you see the progress during your time there as regards agricultural innovations?
Yeah, with regards to agriculture innovations, I can say so far biotechnology is progressing in two fields. I can talk of plant tissue culture, where we're having mass production of agricultural plants, for example, coffee, that are for better yields, which have been improved through hybrids. They are using the plant tissue culture to produce, to have mass production. I also look at cassava that is resistant to some diseases that have been improved. And then also, biotech, the progress can be witnessed through disease diagnosis in different plants. For example, when we talk of the cassava brown sweet, which is very hard to determine that some plant is having brown sweet just by visual of the plant, or through the use of the PCR. I think most of us now know the PCR because it has been imagined because of this COVID-19. Yeah, basically I can say that the progress of biotech can be witnessed through the plant tissue culture and then diagnosis.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to pick your brain, Mr. Biso. Amidst this, ever since the pandemic started, early 2020, and of course, we do not do local production of these reagents, and of course, the machines here in the central region. Say, for example, basically here in Uganda. What are some of these challenges that you faced as a mouthpiece of Inqaba in the market?
As Inqaba, it came to bring in these reagents and equipment. The problems that some of the challenges that we faced were sometimes the extended periods because there was high demand. Let's take an example of the COVID situation. These kits had to be produced in bulk by these companies which we supply for officially in Africa. So the high demand kind of retarded the market here in Africa because you know our status when it comes to the bank, to the pocket. So there are other countries that will take these items. So sometimes you would realize that the time lag taken between the time of order to the time of delivery is somehow extended, but we always kept pushing. So it was a challenge. And then another challenge during the COVID situation, during the transport and the bringing in of the equipment and reagents. Another challenge I should say is that some people love to have this thing of they pay you after post payment. Yet with these companies. We are linking them anyway. We are linking them and we are trying to get these items for them. So that is somehow a challenge, but we are also trying to indulge to solve this as time goes.
Thank you very much. I've asked that question because, I mean, we've been having challenges as young scientists here in Uganda. You write your research proposal, complete it, then you order for reagents, you design your primers, and then you order them with, say, for example, Inqaba, and then they delay cold chain delivery because of all these challenges. Yeah, okay. I would like to move on to the final. We would like to talk about the future of agriculture, biotechnology. Mr. Isaac, your presentation has reminded me of a statement that was said by one of the presenters yesterday that the uptake of biology is entirely dependent on the acceptability by society. So, how do you see the future basing on what you've been presenting to us? We know these aflatoxins actually deteriorate our quality of our feed, quality of our produce, basing on these mobile apps that you've been talking about, for example. What is the acceptability, or what is even the data affordability? Because with Ugandan agriculture, for example, more than 75% of the farmers are small scale holder farmers, and hence challenges in affordability of some of these gadgets to access your services like mobile apps. What do you have to say about that?
Where about the affordability, we're looking for towards working with maybe the government. Uh, uh, if they can give us support and voting these products, we can offer the products at a cheaper price that can be affordable to the farmers. And then also we're looking at, or we can consider offering them a product at a credit, whereby maybe we shall be earning from them, like maybe monthly subscription, just for the purpose of sustaining the entire project.
Okay, thank you very much. And maybe the last one goes to Mr. Biso. Is there any prospectus in the near future to look into local production or regional production of some of these reagents?
Yes, actually, we do prospect that soon or later we'll be in position to establish a lab here in East Africa, because I think our colleagues in West Africa have done that. They have an independent lab that's where they do their sequencing and everything from. So we are prospecting that in the near future, as Inqaba Biotech East Africa, we shall establish a regional lab that will be in position to go from it.
Thank you very much, the panelists. I've excused myself from being a panelist because although I've been a presenter, but I've been moderating the session. So unless there's any question from the audience, maybe one or two questions from the audience regarding the discussion that we've been having, agricultural innovations, you're highly welcome.
Yes, I just want to appreciate what Inqaba Biotech has been doing so far. I have been coordinating a little bit my colleagues to get items from them. And what I would like to tell scientists or researchers, when you want to work with Inqaba, you need really to be in contact with them. Try to get information from them about the item. Give the right description of the item, and you could get it in time. And also, they do send emails to you to warn you about the delay in supply. And they have done it recently, and you need to pay attention to that as a researcher. All that in advance. Yes, I do all that in advance. Though even though you don't have money for that, you negotiate with them. You say, "I'm gonna send you the half of the money," and they do supply to you. Then you pay the total money. Yes, I think they are helpful. Just want to appreciate their efforts.
Thank you very much for the compliment, Mr. Norton.
Yes, thank you. He's a happy client, and I'm glad about that.
It's really nice. Any more questions? Any other question from the audience before we sum this up? Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Dennis from Ghana. So my question is to Inqaba Biotech. I would want to know your mode of advertisement based on the countries that you function. How do you reach out to institutions and organizations to advertise about your product?
Or to answer that question, what we normally do for purposes of officiality, we always reach out to our clients by mail, but we've still embraced the technology of social media. So reaching out to clients, that's advertising. It can be through social media and through the clients we work with, because these are the researchers who know other researchers who will buy from us. So we don't undermine that. We don't undermine the contact we establish with them. So they are really a number of ways we can get in touch with clients, but for purposes of officiality, we normally reach out by email. That's when a client really needs something. But for other purposes, just getting in touch, just letting you know about what we do, other platforms. Thank you.
Yeah, questions are actually boiling up now.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Eva Akurut, and I work with Science, the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation under the Office of the President. And I just want to thank you for the work that you're doing, and also as regarding the innovation, we are as the STI Office of the President, we are going to host the science week that will be running from 2nd November up to the 10th of November, where we shall be celebrating the World Science Day. And part of the package that we are going to offer is that we are appreciating the young innovators and looking at what you presented as an innovation. It will go under one of the think tanks that is called the agro-security. And I think if you put in your innovation, it could be vetted, and chances are high that you could emerge a winner. So we'll be selecting out in each of the different categories, that is above 18 and below 18, and also in the different think tanks that the minister had mentioned yesterday during the launch. You could get a chance. So maybe you could put in, what you have to do is record a video of about 2 minutes explaining what your innovation is. And also, on top of explaining what your innovation is, you could give a brief on your innovation and send to an email. Let me just get the email address. Yeah, you can. What it says is you record a video of the innovator explaining the innovation in strictly not more than 2 minutes, that is 120 seconds. Then you share the video in email, innovation.awards@gcic.go.ug. Yes. If you need more information, you could visit the science OP WhatsApp Twitter page, and you'll get all the information there. So thank you.
See, I saw another hand up.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. My name is Chadinkusa Selunjoji. My question is about the issue of aflatoxins. You talked about the food, those stocks that were rejected in Iran and Kenya, and if my guess is as good as yours, they were not disposed of. So Ugandans consumed them. And know the side effects of aflatoxins is to do with cancer. So I don't know whether you have some communication strategies or some communication to relevant authorities about sensitization of the masses, the communities, towards the promotion of safe consumption of those food stocks. And also in another way, it can be a good market for the products you have displayed. So that was my comment.
Okay, thank you for the supplement. Actually, we had not thought about the strategy for sensitizing people, but we are all going to include it in our way forward as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, that will be our final question that we shall be taking from the audience.
So thank you so much for that presentation. I'm Benson from Kenya, National Commission for Science. And my first question is to Inqaba, and the question is, do you have a turnkey project for the new technology? Because I remember when we wanted to get funding for the synthetic biology hub, the question was, how would the whole project for the hub cost, for the purpose of budgeting? For those who have worked with government, you realize sometimes you need to know the whole cost for the whole systems, and we try to work with our colleagues from UK. Even them, we found that they have developed their lab over time, so they were not very clear on what we may need to establish that hub, and that dream is still there. So those are some of the areas where you could also see their projects, particularly those huge projects that are normally done as a turnkey project. That is where you have all the equipment that are needed in a lab, and you are able to cost it, and it would help so much for those who are seeking funding from government, because that's the only way it can be put in budget. And if something is not budgeted for in government, even if you cry and say how beautiful the project is and how transformative it is, it will never be funded. But if you are able to put it in figures and in numbers, and also you're also able to bring out data on the impact, and that is how what we have been talking about these 2 days, the impact of SynBio. But now we also need to see the investment in terms of figures. And that would also help us from people like you who have been dealing with equipment, and you can help us convince our people in the treasuries to know that if you put this so much dollars in terms of equipment, the system will start running, and these are the products we expect. For the others, I think my friend has also talked about awareness creation on aflatoxin. And also the concern, agriculture, one of the problems is the cost of production. So the question is, your equipment, what is the impact on the cost of production for agriculture? So that is something also you need to look into. You have said the power, you can change it to solar, but even solar installation are among some of the high cost investment. So you also need to think about that. Thank you.
All right, maybe to compliment about what he said at first. Thank you. We have a program. Actually, that's why we have labs. So if anyone is interested, maybe in starting up something, they are running some big project or anything, they can always reach out to us. We can guide them through. I'm sure we have researchers. We have researchers and government people who have reached out to us, and they're like, we need to start a sequencing lab, but what would be the cost? What would it take? So we would get on paper, draw out a list and tell them you need this and this and this and that, and then they can progress. So that program is with us. So in case there's anything, actually I'm glad that you are from Kenya. That's where our office is. You can just reach out to those people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Do you want to say something? Okay. So basically, to sum this up, I would like to thank my panelists for sparing their time to coming and presenting and also being part of this panel. It has been a very impactful day so far, at least for me. I've learned a lot, and I quote, the illiterates of the 21st century will not be the ones who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to stop here and close this session.